Hello to all of you from the daily map update report prepared by the Pioneer team. We continue to bring you the most important developments regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. As you can see in our agenda reports, the world agenda was suddenly shaken by the developments related to the Israeli and Palestinian war. However, the war with Ukraine continues. The counteroffensive operations launched by the Ukrainian troops continues at a great speed. According to the latest reports, the counteroffensive operations launched by the Ukrainian Armed Forces continues uninterruptedly as 5 points of the front line, especially the developments on the Zaporizhia front line clearly show that the Russian army is gradually wearing out. So what is the latest situation on the front line in the war that marked the century and started the era of conflict? Let's take a look at the developments together. The Pioneer team is working with great effort to convey the conflict zones to you with the reports it prepares. You can support our team working hard for these efforts to be reciprocated by using the super thanks button below the video. Let's start if you're ready, the Pioneer reports. Let's start our report with the latest developments on the Zaporizhia front line. According to Ukrainian army, have made significant advances in the western areas of Roboty. Russian troops have been struggling to hold their defense lines in the area and for a long time. You can see it clearly on the map. Russian troops have largely retreated from the center of Roboty to the west of Roboty. Ukrainian troops were trying to advance in the area. Due to the difficult situations of the Russian troops, the Russian Air Force was deployed to the region. The deployment of the Russian Air Force to the region is a very important detail. This situation reveals that, the contrary to the allegations, the Ukrainian army has shown a great success. As a result of the attacks of the Ukrainian army, Russian infantry units in the region needed the support of the Russian Air Force. Russian troops relaxed a little thanks to the support of the Russian Air Force. The attacks of the Ukrainian infantry units have slowed down to some contexts. This was supposed to happen. However, we can say that at an unexpected moment, Ukrainian troops will increase their offensive again. In the Novoprokopivka region, the Ukrainian army is also under serious pressure. As you can see on the map, Ukrainian troops have made serious gains in the direction of Novoprokopivka. Ukrainian troops here continue to surround and circle Russian positions. According to the latest reports, fierce fighting has increased considerably in the center of the region. Ukrainian artillery units are carrying out very important tasks here. As a result of these attacks of the Ukrainian artillery units, the Russian troops were quite worn out, and it continues to wear out. Ukrainian infantry also mobilizes after artillery attacks, cornering the Russian army. On the other hand, we are facing a similar situation on the Verbov line. There are also intense attacks by the Ukrainian artillery in this region. With these attacks, Ukrainian artillery units have worn out the Russian positions considerably. Ukrainian infantry units have also destroyed a large number of Russian soldiers and Russian equipment with their successive attacks. In the coming days, the Ukrainian army may capture large areas on the Zaporizhia front line. However, for this process to take place, Ukrainian troops need more support. If the Ukrainian armed forces are further supported, the losses of the Russian troops in the region will increase. Let's talk about the artillery attacks here. According to the latest reports, Russian artillery units have only responded to the Ukrainian attacks. Ukrainian artillery targeted Russian positions in Kopani, Slatka Balka, Ichenko, Novopokrovka, and Novofedorovka. Let's continue with the developments in the Wuhldar sector of the Zaporizhia front line. According to the latest information from local sources, Russian troops launched an offensive against Ukrainian positions in Novodonetsk and Nikolskoye. The Ukrainian army had the initiative in the region. The Ukrainian army still maintains this initiative. Although the Russian troops carried out quite fierce attacks, they did not achieve any gains in this region either. Ukrainian defense forces successfully repelled the attacks of the Russian troops. In addition, during these attacks, Russian troops faced quite serious losses. After this attack, Ukrainian troops mobilized in the region and launched a heavy bombardment against Russian troops. According to recent reports, many Russian troops are waiting for approval to withdraw from the region. However, I don't think that the Russian war leadership will give such an order, because we have repeatedly faced such situations, and each time the Russian war leadership has risked losing a large number of soldiers, ammunition and vehicles instead of tactical withdrawal. We expect that the Russian war leadership will make the same decision this time. Let us also mention the artillery activity here. According to the latest reports, the Russian army targeted Ukrainian positions in the vicinity of Stromayorsk, Yorkhain, Novodonetsk, and Nikolaevsky. In return, Ukrainian troops hit Russian positions in Priodny, Zaporizhia, Sharmelinka, and Novodonetsk. Now let's analyze the latest developments on the Donetsk front. First, let's open the Donetsk front line on the map. According to the latest reports, Russian forces, supported by artillery and air forces, have resumed the offensive near the Novomykhailovka and in Marianka. Russian sources claim that some parts of the Ukrainian positions have collapsed as a result of the airstrike. However, Ukrainian sources have not yet confirmed these claims. Independent international organizations monitoring the region have also not confirmed these allegations. In addition, Ukrainian forces managed to repel the Russian troops in the attacks of the Russian Armed Forces on the southern approaches of Avdiivka on the Donetsk front line. The overwhelming superiority of the Ukrainian Defense Forces seems to continue in the region. I say overwhelming superiority because the Russian army cannot advance in this region despite attacking with a large number of troops and supports. Don't you think this shows that the Ukrainian Defense Forces in the region have overwhelming superiority? I can't give much information about the artillery activity on the Donetsk front line today because the artillery units of the both armies in the area have been rather quiet compared to the past days. Let us continue by analyzing the latest situation on the Bakhmut front line. The Russian army is still insisting on the positions it lost south of Bakhmut. Russian troops in the area are frequently attacking to capture Andriivka and Klishivka. According to the latest reports, Russian troops again launched a sudden attack on Ukrainian positions in these two areas. Ukrainian troops were unprepared for these attacks. However, they recovered quite successfully and managed to repel the Russian troops. In this region, Ukrainian artillery units are targeting a very large area. According to the latest reports, Ukrainian artillery units severely hit Russian positions in Ozornivka, Kordomuivka, Yahidny, and Bakhmut city center. Activity is also continuing on the Luhansk front. According to the latest reports, Russian troops continued their offensive actions in Makiivka region. Despite the superiority in numbers, Russian troops could not make any progress and had to retreat. So what do you think? Do you think the Russian positions on the Zaporizhia front line have been resolved? Can the Ukrainian army advance it if receives more support? What do you think about the latest situation on the Donetsk front line? Let me know in the comments. I read and I care about all your comments.